Good evening, everybody. This is the masterclass for the Go Live Get Happy Challenge, and it has been an amazing week. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who came along during the week and got stuck in, or just a huge thank you to everybody who was there. I know some of you were kind of watching on the side, getting involved with kind of small parts of the process, getting involved with every part of the process. And this evening is all about pulling these pieces together. So we've got a variety of different things we're going to be doing this evening, some of which are kind of going to be looking at some of the bigger sort of strategic picture. Some of them are going to be looking at the kind of smaller tactical things you can be doing around your video. But all of this stuff will be directly relevant to you, whether you've done the challenge or not. If you're just interested in adding a bit of clarity to your thinking around video, this is going to be good for that. So it's not the kind of thing where you come to it and go, oh, I've not watched the I've not done any of the tasks or anything like that. We're getting some. Could everyone mute yourselves, please? Sorry, we're getting some. Oh, there we go. Right, I think I've got everyone muted. Okay, so for those of you who are watching on Facebook, I'm on silent for a few. Can you all hear me? First of all, let's do a tech check. Can everybody hear me? Okay, I'm getting thumbs up on Zoom. Am I getting thumbs up on? I've got a screen up here. I'm not sort of beseeching a higher power for everything to work. Well, obviously I am. It's yes, Ruth. Excellent. We're going. Multi-camera setups, the works. It's all going. Okay, so what I'm going to do. So I've got a presentation to kind of keep me on track, a planned live, if you will. Who knew? And I'm going to use this as the structure to take us through what we're going to be talking about. Let Jackie in. So I can see all the comments up here. Hello, Bridget. Hello, Ruth. Hello, Lisa. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Right. So first of all, I'm going to share the screen here. Can you all see my presentation there on okay, good stuff. And now I'm going to share it up here and see if it works. Okay, it appears to be working. Okay, right. Good. We are rocking and rolling. So if you're not on the Zoom and you want to ask questions, just pop them in the comments. If you're on the Zoom and you want to ask questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll do that as we go along. So what's this evening about? This is rather grandly called a masterclass. And I use that because it's a phrase, not necessarily that I think I'm some kind of complete master of video. I'm not. I'm always learning. That's the one thing that I love about the video world is that you are always learning. You are always moving forwards. You are always developing your skills. And we're going to talk about some really important skills to do with video tonight. We're going to be looking at some of the bigger strategic picture stuff, the things that will tie the world of live video with the world of pre-recorded video. We'll tie it together, but we're going to join it up with your audience, because the one thing we haven't talked about this week in a great deal of detail is your audience, and ultimately your content is for your audience. We are running businesses. We would like to market our businesses using video, and the the people we're marketing it to are our audience. So just to sort of give you an intro, first of all, intro. This is what we're doing now. The introduction. This is now. We are in the introduction right now. But then we're going to get into the meat of this, and we're going to have a really good look, a deep look at some of the things I've just been talking about, audience and story, and the things that underpin and run through all of your content, and give it purpose, give it real purpose. So the third part of this is Video Academy. I'm going to take you through Video Academy. This is launching today. So Video Academy is now open. And I'm going to take you through what that means and what it entails, and maybe you can see if it's right for you or not. But I have enjoyed this week thoroughly, and I've seen so many people take some amazing steps, either deeper into the world of video or first steps into the world of video. It might be that Video Academy might be right for you. So we're going to look at that, and then we're going to get into the bit that everyone's waiting for, the competition winners. There are going to be some surprises here, but one prize, the winner, will not be a huge surprise. So I'll leave you to think on that what you will. So the masterclass. Here we go. Why all the fuss about live video? It's a simple question, but it's one that I think it's worth asking again, because the world of video, both live and pre-recorded, is kind of, it's woven into our business lives so much now. Video is everywhere, and if you are in the online space, you need to be finding a way to get comfortable with video, and live video is in my opinion one of the easiest ways to step into video in the first place. Many people will disagree with that, but hopefully what this week has shown you is that actually the kind of the process of getting comfortable with going live, getting happy with going live, isn't quite as horrendous as you might have thought. So we kind of we look at it because actually video is brilliant at doing a number of things, but it is really good at getting people across the finish line if they are potential customers. It is really good at showing as well as telling. So very often we forget that video is amazing. We use video not as a visual format, but as a way to sort of tell people stuff. So we need to remember that video is great at showing as much as it is as telling. So if you run a product business, you can show your products being used. Or if you run a service business, you can show the experience that people get when they use your service. So video is great at showing as much as it is at telling. Video is also a high converting tool. It's a really, what I mean by that is that video is a powerful way to take people from never having heard of you before to being buying customers in a way that is scalable and repeatable, and gets your face, your personality, your way of doing things out to your audience quickly and effectively. And those are some of the, for me, some of the primary reasons. But there's one part of this that weaves through all of it. It is an astonishing rapport building tool. There is no better way to get people to get to know you quickly than with video. It's very difficult to do unless you're face to face. Obviously, that is the best way. But the world of face to face has changed. You know, we've kind of the last 18 months has showed us many things. But in the world of business, it showed us that we have to build relationships online now, to a certain, as much as we have to build them in the real world. And this week has been a great case in point. I feel like I've got to know all of you in the challenge incredibly well in an incredibly short space of time. It's been an experience that completely underlines how powerful a kind of space this is to work in, and video can really make that process quicker that process of getting to know somebody, that process of them seeing you and understanding you. That for me is why we should be bothered, why we should fuss when it comes to video, why it's worth taking time to get to know, to get to understand it as a tool, because that is all it is. It is a tool to help you with your business. Unless you're a video production company, your main function in your business is not making videos. You want to be using video as a tool to support your other activities, not as your primary activity, because that would be mad. That would be crazy to sort of be spending more time making your videos than it is doing what you actually do to make a living. So I just want to take a moment to stop and consider what you've achieved in a week, because what's been achieved this week has been fabulous. We've seen people who have never been live before, who have been really, really worried about the prospect of using live video as a tool, embrace it in a way that I think possibly they didn't think they would. And it's a process that doesn't take long to go from kind of that, I hate the idea of being seen, to people going, I can see the value of being seen. And not just that, but I can see the pleasure in being seen, the enjoyment as a business owner of going out there and spreading your words. So you've achieved a great deal, both from a mindset point of view, but from a clarity around messaging point of view, but also from a point of view of setting goals and next steps for yourself. So you should, a big round of applause for everybody. Well done. Cheers. I raise my glass to you. So you've achieved a lot in a week, more than many people do, actually. So to knock it up to the next level, we want to be thinking about building a strategy for your video. What does that actually mean? What do I mean by that? Well, this is having a plan. I've used my sort of folksy rural background as a kind of a way into this idea. But imagine as a farmer on a tractor, ploughing a furrow in a field. If you are always looking behind you or looking at the precise moment, that's good things that are going on either directly in front of you or directly behind you, and you are thinking, I'm ploughing a really straight furrow across this field, you'll get to your destination and you'll look behind you and you'll see this wibbly wobbly line that goes all over the place. You're thinking you're going the most direct way. You think you're going from A to Z in the shortest possible route, but actually you're probably meandering all over the place because you're only looking at either what's directly behind you or what's in front of you. When you're ploughing a field, you need a point on the horizon to aim to, something to move towards that you can keep your eye on, keep your focus on, and use as a sort of a waypoint. And that's what this strategy is all about. It's putting some goals and some ambitions in the ground, and then working back from that, working what you've got to do, what content you need to put into place to help you get from where you are to where you want to be, to that point of success, that goal, without wasting time ploughing wibbly wobbly furrows. And that labored metaphor has served me well many, many times. And I don't care what anybody says, I'm going to keep on using it because I like it. So we build a strategy because it helps us get from A to B in the shortest possible time. And it's something to follow. It's a plan to follow. It's a map. I'm good with a map. But I think that I think I'm better. I think I'm all right without it. But actually, whenever I guess and whenever I sort of try to eye things in, you know, I'll always find that it takes longer. Surprise, surprise. When I've got a plan, when I've got a clear, actionable plan, funnily enough, things go well. So I'm gonna take you through some of the key pieces of this puzzle. So when we're building a strategy, we first of all want to know who we are talking to, because ultimately, as content creators, it is that end audience that we are aiming at, and that often gets forgotten. We get caught up in the moment of producing content, and it can be very easy to forget the people we're actually talking to. I like to talk about ideal audience. Now, you will have heard about most of us will have at some point heard somebody talking about ideal customer or ideal customer avatars, or that kind of notion that you're creating a perfect idea of a customer, and that's the person who you're talking to in your marketing, or whatever. I like to talk about ideal audience. Now, there is a slight difference, and I just want to sort of frame this before we get into detail, because it's quite an important difference. Ideal customer and ideal audience are related, but ideal audience may consist of people who will never ever buy a single thing from you, and that is absolutely 100% okay. There are plenty of people who I talk to online who tune in for content and cocktails, who watch what I've got, and I know they'll never buy. They will never be buying customers, but what they will be are strong advocates for what I do. They're the people who tag me into a post, or who will recommend me, or who will think, during a conversation with another friend, I know somebody who's good with video. That is the ideal audience. They may never be a buying customer, but they will be a powerful advocate for you and what you do. So when you're communicating with these people, with this audience, think about your ideal audience as kind of not as kind of as you would around an ideal customer, but as you would around it's a slightly broader consideration. Does that make sense? Nods. Okay. I'm not talking complete rubbish, which is always good. So you start with your ideal customer. Now, if you've done an ideal customer or ideal audience, an ideal customer exercise before, you'll know that it's made up, you're effectively mapping somebody, a notional person, who is the person you're going to be talking to. And this is one of the things I use. This is part of my kind of mapping process. So we've got kind of demographics, behavior, sort of general points to consider, things they're interested in. So think about your ideal audience as as somebody who is kind of hungry for information, because they've got a particular set of problems. They've got a particular set of things that they would like solving. And this can be from the very, very serious to the very, very frivolous. But because when I say problem, I mean that sort of in the widest possible sense. It could be a problem, if you're going into a corner shop to go and buy a Mars bar, your problem might be that you are slightly hungry and fancy a treat. Or if you're going to go and get therapy, it might be that you've got, some deep-seated trauma that you'd like somebody to help with. Those are both technically problems, but they are at completely different ends of the spectrum. But nonetheless, in this conversation, they are problems to consider. So think about your audience from a point of view, the kind of issues they'd like resolving, and you can start to kind of create content that is, if you've mapped them, if you understand them, you can start to create content that is right for them. So step one is map your audience, understand who they are. What are their motivations? What do they want? Why do they want it? How can you, how can you relate to them? How can you sort of see yourself talking to them? So one of the things I really like to do, and it's quite a tough exercise. Incidentally, this exercise is not a quick one. It should take you days to do in detail. This is not something to do and just rattle it off and go, oh, there we go, I've done it. It requires deep thought, and it is best when it is done with deep thought. So if you want to slow the process down, I really like the 100 statements exercise. So when you are describing your ideal audience member, try and write 100 statements about this person. The first 25 will be easy. You will find those pretty simple, and they can be as simple as, male or female, has a family, 2 kids. They can be very broad, but then as you get deeper into those numbers, 0 to 25, 1 to 25, easy peasy. 26 to 50, getting a bit trickier. 50 to 100, that's where you are possibly going to grind out 1 or 2 every couple of days. But the harder it gets, the more understanding you will develop of your audience, and the more detail, the more precision you can have around this person, around this audience member, the more precisely you will be able to serve them. Because fundamentally, content creation is about service. We are looking to serve an audience. We are looking to help somebody, whether you are creating a physical product or delivering a service. It's a relationship. You're giving people good quality content. You value their time. And I think it's about respecting time as well. If you are banging out low quality content very quickly, that audience will get pretty bored, and you will find that you will lose the crowd pretty quickly. However, if you've spent quality time understanding who these people are, who this person is, what they need, then you can serve them with really high quality content, and they become a fully engaged member of your audience. So be very clear about who you're talking to. Spend time getting to know them. Now, one of the ways I like to do this as well is to start off with kind of a favorite customer. So if there's somebody you particularly love working with, or you've particularly enjoyed selling something to, think about what made them such a good person. And then think about the qualities and the things that they brought to that sort of exchange, and feed that into the mix as well. So once you've identified your audience and got clear about that, you want to then understand the story that you're telling through your content. We are storytelling apes. There's a lovely Terry Pratchett quote from one of his science books that he did, and he described humans as storytelling apes, or pan-narans, which is a great idea, because it completely captures that idea that humans make sense of the world around us through narrative. We are creatures that love a story. We are not just from a kind of a, we are literally hardwired. Our brains are kind of narrative favoring machines. So we can use the power of stories woven through our content, either all in one go or little bits at a time, to take people on a journey. Because the process of taking somebody along from never having met you before to becoming a customer with video, it is a journey. We talk about funnels, and you'll hear people talk about funnels and all that kind of stuff. And I feel it rather doesn't do the process justice, because it feels a bit reductive. But it is a journey, and it is a journey where we can sort of, with narrative, we can take people's hands and lead them through. So what I've got here is a story structure. It's a very old story structure. It is called the hero's journey, and it is very much not mine. It has been around for a very long time indeed. Just ask Gilgamesh. And the Babylonians knew a thing or two. So this is Merlin talking to Arthur. This is Athena. This, we are talking big, old, deep time narrative here, and we're going to use that to help people understand. So we start with a character, and that character is our ideal audience member. So we know that our ideal audience member, we know who they are and what they want. We know that they've got some problem. They've got a problem they'd like solving. So identify your audience, and identify the kind of issues they have. So we have a character with a problem who meets somebody who understands their fear. That's us. We are the wise advisors in this story. We are here to help our hero, who is our potential customer, on the journey. So this is where an understanding of personal narrative and personal storytelling comes into play. So, I've told this story plenty of times. I've told it this week. My personal experience with video is that I hid away for many years because way back in the day, back in 2002, I made a TV pilot for one of the production company I was working for called Attic Antiques, and this is the original videotape. At some point, I will be getting this VHS, Ming, VHS. I will be getting this digitized and sharing it with the world, possibly, maybe. But we made the Attic Antiques. We shot the pilots, and we sent it off through the production company I was working for at the time. My very first job, incidentally, with Tapestry Productions. We sent it off, and the commissioning editors considered it for sort of 6 weeks, and then the letters came back, and one from Channel 4 particularly stuck in my mind because they said, we love the show format, we love the idea, we just don't think Tom is TV gold. Sad face Tom. Oh dear. So I at that point thought, you know what, my job is behind the camera. My job is to help other people tell their stories. I'm behind the camera. Effectively my job is to be helping other people tell their stories. And so for many, many years, I became effectively invisible in my business. I was hiding behind a brand. I was assuming that people didn't want to buy me. They wanted to buy the brand, the kind of the story of the business, not me. And the business kind of, it did all right. It sort of bumped along, not doing anything near what I wanted it to. I had all these grand ideas and ambitions, and we could just never seem to get traction. We had a great idea, and it just never worked. And then, to cut a long story short, I got myself out from behind the camera and used the power of video, which I've been telling other people about for years and helping other people tell their stories. I actually took my own medicine and I got in front of the camera and started telling my own story and speaking loudly and visibly to my ideal audience. And that's when things really started to shift. But it was a hard process getting out from behind the camera, because I was carrying around this idea that I wasn't TV gold, that I constructed this narrative that said, I'm not supposed to be in front of the camera. But also other stuff grows in that little patch, doesn't it? Who am I to be visible? Who am I to kind of be speaking out? Am I really an expert? We get all this imposter syndrome stuff and all this kind of stuff that gets in the way and takes root. And it's, it starts out as a small thing and ends up being a blooming enormous wheat patch of weeds that grows. So I know what it's like to hide away, and I know what it's like to make that difficult, sometimes slightly anxiety-inducing step from behind the camera to in front of it. So when we talk about the story, when it says meet someone who understands their fears, I've got some stories up my sleeve that I can tell that illustrate that point, that show people that I understand. I get it. I've been there, even though I've been in the world of video for 20 years. I know what it's like. so a character with a problem meets someone who understands their fears. That's us. Who gives them a plan. So this is where we introduce people to the service or the product we've got. That's the plan we're giving to our hero. Now, most people in their marketing will stop there. They'll go, I've got a thing. Would you like it? And then go, oh, they didn't want the thing. Next. But in the story, we've got a few other steps to consider. We've got to call the hero to action. We've got to paint a picture to the person of, we've got to show, okay, we've got a thing for you, but here's what you do with it. So here's the video content. Here's the business service or the product. This is what you do with it. And then you paint a picture of either, the great success that comes with, taking this action or buying this product, or you paint the picture of the failure. Depends if you are the sort of, now that's not right for everybody. I don't do the failure thing because actually it doesn't really chime with me. It doesn't really resonate with my audience. But if you are in, say, a legal profession or a something where there is an element of compliance, accountancy or tax affairs or whatever it is, not doing your taxes properly can lead to very serious consequences. So painting a picture of what those consequences are can be a very powerful motivator. So these final steps, this kind of call to action and painting a picture of either great success or abject failure, they lead to transformation. And so we have this final transformation of our hero from something to something else. So for me, the transformation for my customers, my clients, the people I love working with, is that I help them go from nervous, novice creators to confident video makers. It's a from this to that process. So think about the story you're going to tell, and that will weave through your whole process. Is that all making sense so far? Excellent. We'll come on to the questions over there. So the audience are on a journey, listening to your story, but there is also a journey that they go on, as we said. The content planner funnel, as I catchily call it, is all about the journey. So we start at the top. People come onto this journey, and they are here for the first time, maybe finding out about you for the first time. So that's the exposure bit. So that could be search, it could be YouTube, it could be then a great way to do this, to get this exposure, is to use optimized video on YouTube. Put the right content on YouTube with the right keywords, and people will find you, because people go to YouTube looking for solutions to problems. And if you can provide content that provides solutions to problems at the moment of search, you're off to a fantastic start. So exposure, that's the point when people find out about you for the first time. Discovery, that's when people get in a little deeper into your world. Consideration, that's the point where they're thinking, I think I'm going to buy something from this person. I'm going to have a little look around in their world. And conversion, that's the point when somebody becomes a customer. And then after that point, you've got the customer relationships and the retention and upsell. So we've got a process. And when I get people to think about their content, about their business and how video content helps, look at that process and ask yourself the question, Where is the biggest point of loss through this? Is it that I generate loads of leads, but I'm dreadful at converting them? Or is it that I'm not generating enough leads, but when I do generate them, they become customers easily? Or it could be that I'm good at the top bit, but people come in and they're not with me for long. So look where you can use video content to plug those gaps. So it could be in the consideration stage that you are using testimonials and case studies to cement your value and your authority, so that when people are thinking, yeah, I'm going to buy from this person, they've got stuff to back them up, back up their intellectual decision-making process. They can look at it and go, somebody like me has got results like this from this person. So look at that journey and think to yourself, where am I weakest? Where can I plug video content in right now that'll make the quickest difference, the greatest difference in the quickest possible time? Because that for me is the great place to start. If you can get results from video quickly, it's a great boost. So this is both live and pre-recorded, by the way, all the way down here. But the big part of this is about taking action. None of this means anything unless you are actually taking action, making the actual, making the content, doing the lives in a structured way, moving things forward. Unless you are taking that action, you won't grow. But if you do take action, the growth is there for the taking. Because the truth is that video is a space in which not many business owners are doing it well. Lots of people dabble a little bit, but struggle with the consistency. If you can be the consistent voice in your space, you can become the go-to expert. But it's about taking action, and it's about taking consistent action. So your journey starts with kind of a plan, and you have to kind of look at the whole picture. This week we have covered a thin sliver, but a very important sliver of video marketing. Now, if you do nothing other than lives, and you will still do very well, but put some structure behind it, put a plan in place. What I like to do with this plan is turn it into a 3 to 6 month content plan. Work out the themes, the broad themes you're going to talk about over that period of time. What is it you're going to tell people? What's coming up in your business that's important in that period of time? How can you group your ideas and your thinking around, group your content around your kind of the ebb and flow of your year? So it could be that, for many businesses, Christmas is a hugely important time. So what do you need to be doing content-wise in the run-up? What do you need to be thinking about for January now? And so put that plan in place. Think about your content, not in a kind of day by day, week by week, but in a broad sweep of time. So, quarter by quarter, and tie it to some goals and objectives. Be clear about what you want to achieve this time next year, and think back from that point. What do I need to put into place? Who do I need to be communicating with? What messages do I want people to take away? So, what next? Video. And here is something I've told you before. Video is a steep climb. You don't want to kid yourself that video is kind of is a walk in the park, because there are elements of it that are complicated. The good news is, though, it is a short but steep climb. So you have a steep learning curve, and it plateaus out quite quickly. But to get up that initial over that hump, you've got to master 4 key areas. And that's the mindset, which we've talked about, the strategy, which we've had a little look at today, the story, which we've touched upon, and the tech and the skills, so that's sort of filming and editing. And once you've got a level of mastery of that in those 4 areas, you're sort of up the hard part, and you're onto a much more kind of manageable climb. And I don't say this as a way to worry people or to put you off, but as a way to kind of give you a sense that, one, it's achievable because plenty of people have done it. I've helped plenty of people do this. But 2, I think it's expectation management. There isn't a magic one-to-way. Video is a weird mix of creativity and technology, which presents a variety of different exciting kind of things to overcome, none of which, when you break them down, are insurmountable. I've done it, and I'm an art historian by training. That gives me no functional skills in the real world, and yet I've managed to learn video. So, if I can do it, frankly, anybody can. So the steep climb is there, but it's a short but steep climb. And it's at that point, actually, that having some hands on your back to help you up that steep climb can be quite appealing. So what I'm going to do is just quickly take you through Video Academy, and then we'll do the prize draw, and then we'll do the Q&A session, because I think there's probably quite a lot of questions to get into. So, as I say, Video Academy is my I'm going to say signature program, but that makes me sound incredibly pompous. Welcome to my signature program, Video Academy. The hands at your back, pushing you onto new heights. This is the condensing into a 12-week program of my video brain. 20 years of kind of know-how smushed into a 12-week plus a month of implementation cycle. For some of you, this is going to be right. For others, it's not going to be right. And whatever position you are at, you have completely got my support. So I've got my free groups. I've got a membership which is kind of being not revived, but sort of being retooled at the moment. But however you want to kind of take your video journey forwards, know that I will be here cheering you on, because that is kind of, I told you my why earlier in the week. It is genuinely about the pleasure of seeing people succeed with this, because I know it can be hard, or it can certainly seem hard, and you'll see other people kind of doing it and they make it look so easy. And I want you to be one of those people who would do it, and people look at it and go, "Oh, you make it look so easy." You go, "Yeah, it's because I'm brilliant." So Video Academy is a 12-week program that will take you through all the steps you need to master to market your business with video and build a visible, effective relationships with your ideal audience. Because ultimately, that is what this is about. It's about building relationships that that are genuine and heartfelt, that result in you working with the kind of people that you love working with. Because ultimately, that's where the pleasure is in work. I've spent a lot of time working with people that who didn't necessarily light my fire. So the process that I like to follow is one that is all about ending up working with the people that you love working with. So yeah, it's a 12-week program. And I'm going to just run through what you get so you can make a considered choice. So there are 3 levels. We've got Pro, Star, and VIP. We have different levels of, obviously, different levels of kind of involvement at those, ranging from kind of the Pro, which is kind of that's the core course. That's complete. There's nothing. There's no thin bits in this, because the thing that drives me mad about some courses that I've done in the past is that you sort of go in on the sort of the kind of the entry tier, and you think, I feel like I'm missing big chunks of this. So what I've wanted was for this to be a complete experience. So Pro, Star, and VIP are my different levels. So this time round, Video Academy is this. So we have the Pro tier. It's a one-off payment of 800 quid or 6 payments of £150. Now, last time we did that over a shorter period of time, but we decided to kind of spread it out over a long period of time, so it was more, basically more affordable. So Pro, what you get for that is, and I'll just share this here. So I'll go down. So you get the core course, which is a 12-week course, and we have a week 0 kickoff, which is kind of designed to get you going straight away. Then we've got strategy, mindset, deep dives into the tech, which includes lots of step-by-step how-to stuff, presenting, presenter skills, and then repurposing and kind of the process of getting the most from the process. You also get a year's membership, a year's access to my Video Skills Made Easy membership included. You get access to a suite of video YouTube optimization tools called Tubix, which is, we weirdly got in on a deal years ago on this, a lifetime deal on this, and we got an agency deal. It's now like $700 a month for this tool, but we can put as many people on it as we want, so you get that. So you get YouTube optimization tools, you get animated logo, name lower thirds, transitions, and end plates. That is your there's like a pack of kind of stuff that you can use in all your videos. And my favorite bit, there's an in-person training day and a wrap party, because I want a blend of online training, done for you stuff, and in real life. This is the online training is great, and we've done a lot of, we think we've all done a lot of it over the last couple of years, but I love spending time with people face to face, and some of the things we're talking about are best shown face to face. Now, this training day will be streamed as well, so if you can't make it, it's there. So there's quite a lot in there for your money. So that's the Pro tier. The VIP, oh no, hang on, that's too. So Star, that's the middle one. You get everything we've just talked about, and that's either a grand or 6 payments of 190 quid. What you get for that is all of the above that we've just talked about, plus some one-to-one strategy time to call on, and a virtual filming session. Now, Jackie Walker very kindly let me sort of use one of the videos. So we've delivered this up before through Dawny Baxter, who some of you may well know. But a virtual filming session can be a great way to get your core suite of content up and running quickly. So as part of the Star package, we are adding in this virtual filming session. So we will do an online recording, which we then take away and edit and create content for you. Oh dear, excuse me, I'm getting a bit parched. And then finally, we have the VIP package. Now, this is for those of you who say, yeah, that's all right, but actually, is there any way you could just do it all for me? So So this is what we've come up with. This is a complete done for you service, I think is the best way to describe that. So it's a one-off payment of £5,000 or 12 payments of 500 quid. We have 10 of these because we can't, and this isn't just like me going, oh, we've only got 10. This is actually kind of just genuinely, we have a certain amount of time that we can allocate, and so we have to sort of cap the numbers on this. So this is going to function a little bit like a mini mastermind. So there will be 10 slots for the VIP session, and people have used this before to create complete courses. So some people have used our VIP package in the past to create a year's worth of video content. And we've got strategy days, one-to-one strategy days, and filming days that we do together, one-to-one, to make sure that if you are on this package, you are crafting precisely the kind of content to be meeting all of those things we've discussed. But it's a done for you thing. So if you are the sort of person who just likes the idea of this kind of just being done for you, this is the one. If you fancy that, drop me a message and we can have a chat. So Emma says, so many questions. This is VIP for 12 weeks. With the VIP, you get everything else, but you get the VIP package, which is the done for you video package. So you get all the other stuff, all the course, the 12-week course, plus me and the team creating content for you. So there are bonuses for those of you who are kind of early birds on this. So let me just take you through. Oh, I can't find the bonuses. I've been looking at this wretched sales page for so long. I think I'd know it back to back by now. Bonuses, here we are. So if you jump in on this in the first 24 hours, you're going to get access to these bonuses. So any of these packages in the first 24 hours, there's a guest training session from a friend of mine, and she is a fabulous copywriter called Chantal Davison from Copy College. Copywriting is a really important part of the communications process when you're taking your video and getting it out there. There's a lot of words that need to be wrapped around it. So Chantal is offering up a masterclass on that, designed to help you craft the right words to go with your video content. So I'm just gonna, I've realized that bear with me a second. I'm just going to put this into might be easier for people if they want to be, if you want to have a look through the sales page, because there's quite a lot more detail there. I've just shared it in various places. So yeah, 24-hour bonuses, training from Chantal. There's also a training from another amazing person called Flo Andrews. Now, Flo is a West End leading lady actress, and also is currently starring. Well, it's not out yet, I don't think. She's in Ridley Scott's new movie House of Gucci, playing and has been acting alongside some, and not just in a kind of walk-on way. She's been fully involved. So she is a talented and experienced stage and screen actor, and she is going to be sharing a fabulous training with us about how to shine on camera. The other 24-hour bonus is an advanced repurposing Masterclass. Not Ricky Gervais's mate from Extras. No, she was last year. She was, doing scenes with Al Pacino and things like that, which just sounds like the world's most terrifying thing. So 24-hour bonuses. You got Chantal, you got Flo, you've got me doing an advanced repurposing masterclass about how to keep the flow of content going, and then if you're in the first 48 hours, you get the bonuses flow. So there are some cheeky little incentives to sort of perhaps sweeten the pot if you are considering. So those are the bonuses. That's it. That's that done. If it's right for you, I would love to continue the journey. So now, here we are, the bit that we've all been waiting for, the competition winners. So, my goodness, this has been just bananas this week. I have never known anything like it. We've had just over 20,000 likes, comments, interactions. Absolutely crazy. And what is really incredible is that they're not spammy. They're all, they're really genuine. What I've loved is the fact that these have been great, honest, engaged people sharing ideas, being supportive, sharing the love around. 20,000 comments. It's absolutely bananas. So I will come to the big prize at the end. But first of all, I've got the Fez of Fortune here. I filled it full of names. I like the old school. Yeah. So we've got all the names of the people who invited people, and I'm going to pull a name out the hat here. Right. Okay. Who is this? So this is for the rather lovely cocktail kit and a copy of Bernard. The winner of the cocktail kit is Frankie Gray. That's Frankie Gray. So we've got that little name there. Frankie Gray, you've won the cocktail kit. So, Frank, I'll tag everybody who's won in. So, so we've now got the Fedora of Fate. We've had the Fez of Fortune. So this is I bought this fedora. I lived in Hungary for a while, and I bought this as an 18-year-old when I was living out there. I looked a right state in it. It was it a good look? I don't think it was a good look in the late 90s. I don't think it's a good look now. So we have got, so this is for the task finishers. So this is for the go live kit. Who have we got? Bev Cripps. Bev Cripps has won. Well done. So we have Bev has won the kit. Frankie has won the cocktail set. How exciting. We'll need to see the fedora. I'm going to do it. I'll put it on. There we go. It's better than the Fez, I can tell you. So we're now coming on to the Community Champion Prize. Steady on. This is going to be a real shock. let me just I'll pull up the current stats, but frankly it's totally irrelevant because the person who won was almost an unassailable lead from about day 2. I kept on saying everything to play for, but you know the reality is this cheeky chappy is, oh crikey, hang on, where's it gone? I can't find it. Come in. Membership, here we are. Oh, hello. Nope. I'm having a bit of a tech moment here. Oh god. Ah, there we go. I'd lost it. Wow, look. This is shock horror. It's Andy Jacobs who's won. Congratulations, Andy. You are the community champion winner and have won the day of filming. And we do we get a prize? This is, do we get a prize for guessing right? Just the warm glow of satisfaction. That's all I can promise you. So yeah, Andy, well done, well done. You have got a couple of ways to sort of make this work for you. But I tell you what, Carly was coming up, you know. The warm glow of a veg bag over a table lamp. Exactly, Emma. And for those of you in the know, don't underestimate the power, the diffusing power of a veg bag. So well done, Andy. I will be in touch with everybody who has kind of who's been a winner. To those of you who are watching live on Facebook, what you can't see, what you've missed are the wonderful reactions from Andy and everyone here. So it's been great, but but well done to everybody. I mean, it's, you know, I'm fully aware that it's a bit of a cheap trick, but what it does is it kickstarts a community, and everybody got stuck in completely in the spirit that it was intended. And what starts out as kind of a competition actually very soon turns into something which is genuine and heartfelt and quite an amazing just the atmosphere has been amazing. So well done to everybody who is a winner. You are all winners. So Andy says, I love you all. Firstly, I'd like to thank my wife, my family, and everyone who knows me, and Tom. Well, thank you. You are a top bloke yourself. So I'm going to unshare my screen, and then we are going to go and have a Q&A, because this is when we get a chance to really you get my brain's here. Pick it, please. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask them. Any questions at all? Ask me anything. Let me just so I'm gonna, I don't know how to mass unmute people. So Emma, should we start with you? Oh, you have to unmute yourself. Hello.
I was telling him not to talk to me. He was like, shut up now. I'm about to go on. Okay, yeah, I've got tons of questions, but I'll just ask one first. How much, this is a totally selfish question, how much of the Video Academy is about planning, consistency, strategy? How much of it is about that?
I say,
I know I need everything else, but obviously for me, I need to know how much of it's going to be.
So to give you the, I will tell you now what the breakdown is. If I've closed them.
Yeah, it did whiz by a little bit fast.
Yeah. So I will. Okay. So this is the breakdown of the week by week kind of thing. So the core course, we have like a week 0. Yeah, everyone can unmute. You know, don't if you want to. The core course is 12 weeks, but it's kind of 13 if you include week 0. So this is we start off with a kickstart session, and this is designed to get people going straight away, right from the get-go. So that's just giving you some quick practical skills in order to be using kind of video right now. So it's kind of taking some of the stuff we've been doing this week and kind of repeating that process, but for kind of pre-record stuff as well. Then we get into the planning stuff. So week 1, we are deep diving into audience identification, platform choice, picking apart those 4 pillars. So that's heavy planning. Week 2, really diving hard into the story workshop and breaking down your funnel and working out where your content slots in that funnel. So weeks 1 to sort of 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first month is all about building out a really, really kind of bomb-proof strategy. Something that, look, the principle I work on is that if I can follow it, and my scatterbrain, kind of sort of nailing jelly to the wall kind of approach to sort of strategy, I've got to build something that's followable. So 4 weeks to build out an actionable strategy is really important.
Well, thank you.
Week 5 is kind of also sort of pulling it all together. So the first 4 weeks, with a sort of a week 5 where we just kind of craft it and start to look at how, what we need to put into place to actually kind of turn the plan into reality. So as often is the case with these things, having the plan is not enough. You've actually got to do it.
This is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So obviously that's my thing, but from what you've just said, I mean, I don't know how to I know how to plan what I know. I don't know how to plan what is platform choice. I don't know what things or what I'm supposed to do with that. So just that just reassures me that I'm not going to be like sitting there for the first 4 weeks thinking, well, I'm not going to do it this way.
No,
I'm too stubborn to change my ways anyway.
Well, I mean, the beautiful thing is actually, this is because this is so specific to video. It should, in many ways, slot in. It should be something that kind of universally adapts to other systems, because
this
it's not.
This is what I need, and it's this exact thing that I need, because everything else, I've nailed it, and I've been working on it for so long.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that I've avoided, and I've avoided it through this fear that obviously you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And that now that's gone. Okay, now the fear's gone, but you've not built up any experience, any tools, anything.
Yeah.
And that's what I need. And it sounds like this takes you from beginner to
winner.
Smashed it.
Yes.
So
yeah.
That's what I need. Yeah, well, winner's much better.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make myself again now.
No, so that's it. So we then sort of get it. So after that initial kind of strategic process, we then get into the sort of the skills thing. So how do you actually make films that look nice? How do you then edit it? What are you doing with all of this that to kind of make it work? Actually, to make it kind of easy to do, because ultimately, I'm a very lazy person and I like all this stuff to work like clockwork and be easy. So this is my system kind of replicated. Any other questions?
Can I ask one?
Yes, Liz, please go for it.
Hello. So after very late night messages to you when I always have very late night epiphanies.
That's absolutely.
I'm sorry about that.
No.
But I was just wondering, we spoke you were saying to me about the star package, weren't you?
Yes.
And you said about the online recording.
Yeah.
How does that work? And what length of time is it over? Because some of the stuff that I need to record, it's just like little snippets from like the kind of the learning objectives and things like that, you know, from a course.
For that kind of thing in the past, we've very rarely needed more than an hour. So
Okay.
actually, and because you've done all the planning beforehand. Yeah, but the beauty is that it's pretty flexible, really. But broadly speaking, what would happen is, because we've done all the planning already, by the time when we get to the point when we do the kind of the sort of one-to-one recording session, the time is used efficiently because we've got the plan.
Yeah.
And so that when you get to that point, you should be kind of we should be very clear about the kind of messaging that you need to be getting. And I've got a sort of like, you know, there's a list of set questions which are designed to help you get that sort of core range of content. I mean, Jackie actually went through that sort of list of questions as well. It's if the purpose of this kind of suite of videos is to give you a kind of a quiver full of visibility arrows, then you can use that. But also there are going to be other things that you will identify, and you'll say, actually, I'd like to put this in there as well, and kind of add things in. So it's possibly more designed for the like, know, trust end of the video content spectrum, that kind of stuff, which is designed to help people get to know you, rather than, say, for example, training content, thing like that. Okay. So you'd probably be that would much more sort of readily fit into the top tier package. So which is that kind of, but the middle one is, I'm trying to think of a sort of a nice way to sort of encapsulate it, but it is time that is, we make the most of it as a result of the preparation work that's kind of come before, if that makes sense.
I suppose my main concern is that my ideal customers are kind of like companies that are like 30 to 300 people, and it's hard to know. I think probably I've identified that the majority of them are going to be on LinkedIn, so it's kind of working out, right, okay, how do we actually purpose some content to attack that? I don't mean attack them.
Address the issue.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, that's the phrase. You know what I mean? Yeah. By the way, I've got this look, I got it.
Oh, nice. Very good.
It's working quite well.
Excellent. Yes.
My videos came out of a 28-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I've actually got on my iPhone. I have my iPhone here, and the video recording is actually off my laptop here on Zoom.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And it was done. It was through Dawn's program, which Tom's just mentioned, and literally, we didn't know. We had a rough idea if we wanted to look at what the questions might have been about. But sometimes if someone's asking you the questions and you don't know, then you get more of a natural response.
Yeah.
And it was just sitting there with, maximum 1 hour plan. After 28 minutes, we've just done it.
Okay.
And got loads of content, and the content's good, but it's part for social media and part for use on the website. So when you go to the website, it's really powerful. People can see you saying something. And that's a pre-recorded video, which is really good quality, which is what Tom's team did. And then you've got the other little fun bits which you put on social media just to show people your personality.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Thank you. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, Tom.
Oh, yes, that's it was, and actually it was a lovely the range of answers actually that we got, because I think there were 20 people in total that did the virtual recording session, and we generated sort of nice sort of bespoke graphics for people on each of their videos. So there was kind of a distinctive look and feel that kind of that wove through the thing. Sorry, so I'm just seeing somebody. Dorota, lovely to have you in the challenge. It's been a pleasure having you around. So we're not sort of done yet with the group, but yeah, lovely to meet you. Yeah, so that recording session generated huge amounts of content for people. It was a really productive way of doing things, I think. Any other questions about anything video related? Oh, and he's having a celebratory glass of fizz by the looks of it. Yes. So
I've got a question.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry, I've missed it this week.
No, not at all.
You were just talking about the middle to the high-end top package. Were you saying the top package is more useful if you're developing a course, and the middle one is more about helping you to intro rapport building type video?
So the top tier one is designed basically so people have used that package in lots of different ways over the years. So the middle tier one is really, it's designed to get you a small amount of video content to get you going. So that is there to be, so it's an online recording session. The top tier one is we have a face-to-face strategy day where we map out your strategy, and then we have 2 full filming days with a potential third if we need it. And over those days, we could do things like, so for example, Lee Howes, who was one of the VIPs last time around, I went up to her retreat, and I filmed at her retreat. We created a sort of a series of testimonials from clients who were on the retreat, as well as a sort of a show reel video for that. So it's a much more kind of I guess traditional video production package, in as much that it's a complete done for you service. We work with you as a one-to-one client, taking you through that process of working out what it is you need. Because some people come to me and say, well, you know what, I'd just like to get 6 months of weekly content, blog content filmed, and that's enough. Or they come to me and say, actually, I'd like to film my new course in the studio, and I'll come and we'll plan out the course, and we'll do all of that. So that's the need identification is part of the process. But if you are somebody who has a kind of a requirement for video, or larger quantities of video, that package is probably one of the most efficient ways you could do that. Does that sort of answer the question?
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I'm not at the advanced stages of developing a course, but I know that I need to get, I'm not even out on social media.
Yeah.
But I find it really overwhelming in that platform, so I just want to do the minimum on social media, but in the most efficient way.
Yeah.
And I know I come over better if I'm talking to people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hadn't really thought about video. I thought about a podcast.
Well, you can actually, because one of the things that you can do with that is you could record a whole bunch of podcast episodes and have them as could record them as video content, and then extract the audio. You know, there's all sorts of repurposing that can be done there. So in some ways, that sort of top tier, the VIP tier is kind of basically what can you imagine? You know, what's, you know, we part of the process is working out what you need and what is going to create the most value in your business. I mean, the ideal situation is that, because it's, you know, some people, those of you who choose to go in and on that 500 a month package, the video content produced should be covering that cost pretty quickly. That's the sort of the ideal situation there, is that you're creating the content that's generating leads and sales, so that it's covering that sort of that kind of process. But that's different for each person, you know. That's not me saying it's a guarantee. You know, you need to sort of come into it with kind of some broad goals in mind, and then work back from there as to what kind of how the content we would create fits into those goals, as I was sort of saying earlier. Hello, Andy.
And cheers for a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you. As usual, I've got a little bit of a techie question.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So my lives, I ideally like to go to Facebook, my personal page.
Yes.
Facebook, my damsel's page, and Instagram, where I've got over 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
I know that's not possible unless I get Yellow Duck.
Oh man, Yellow Duck is a
Sounds
pain.
like a real pain.
It is.
In a duck's ass.
Yes.
So I'm not going to be doing that. Now I saw you say that you, what do you call it, natively go out to Instagram.
Yeah.
While you're streaming to other platforms.
Yeah. So I would just put my phone on a stand.
Yeah, but Tom.
Yes.
I'm already using my laptop and my phone.
Ah.
To do an overhead and a side. So I know that's not going to be possible to do that, because that sounds like a great idea. Very simple. I like that. Very simple. No techie. Just on a slightly different angle. But I can't do that. So what my question is, could I send my recorded live that I've done to both Facebook pages to Instagram?
Yeah.
But if it's like 3/4 of an hour long, will they take that? It's not a reel is, or a story is like 30 seconds, isn't it? So a reel is that's my problem. I don't know if
Gail's got something. I think. Yeah. What you? Oh, you have to unmute. There we go.
Right, Andy, I've learnt this somewhere else. You can stream it to IGTV on Instagram.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how to do it, but I know it can be done because somebody in something else that I was in, they were saying about that. IGTV.
Can I do that?
Reels are only 15 or 30 seconds long. Is that right, Tom? And then
yes. So
and then IGTV is like TV. You can just do what you like.
Right. So can that go out live while I'm doing the other stuff?
Yeah.
But can I stream that through StreamYard?
Yes, because that's how I was shown to do it. But
that's the. I didn't think you can.
No, I don't think StreamYard accepts IGTV as a source.
Oh, does it not?
No.
It's the other way around.
Yeah.
It's Instagram that aren't accepting StreamYard.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then you can't then.
No.
No.
So I suppose what I'm going to have to do is do 2 broadcasts a week.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
It's not bad.
No.
Because I can practice and learn and hopefully get a bit better, a bit quicker.
Well, this is it. I think you'll find that your audience on Instagram may well have slightly different requirements to the one on Facebook. So sort of, if you're doing that work around the audience, so as somebody suggested on the live upload, you upload the recorded live to IGTV. Okay.
So just record it live on my other stuff and just upload it as a recorded to Instagram.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll get some sort of response from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I really look forward to sharing a Marmite flavored.
It was very nice. It was far nice that it had any right to be. It did look a little bit like cough syrup. But it was.
Share a bottle, mate. Don't really worry about that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
There's some strong.
No Marmite.
There's some very.
I'm with you, Emma.
Very strong opinions being held here.
And it's not gluten free, so I'm not having it. Not touching it.
Refund. I want a refund.
You don't know. You don't know.
On a refund on my time. It's Marmite behaviour.
Yes, it was a cocktail, Ming.
Yes. It's
Marmite, but a cocktail.
Listen, hang on. there's a lot of. So this is it, and it does sound revolting, but I promise you, it's actually far nicer than you think it's going to be. So you take a bottle, you take stout, so Guinness and Marmite and sugar, and reduce it down into a sort of a syrup, and then you put a small measure of that in the bottom of a champagne fruit and top up with champagne.
Yeah,
But you've got to tell her what you do.
Oh, well,
yeah, so not only are you having to use a sword to slice the top off and take your living room window out as you're doing it, you put Marmite in a cocktail, and you've got to cook the bloody thing before you can even drink it. What effort is it? Can you buy this reduced
It's classy.
ingredient?
It's a lot of class and it lands.
You don't. I just want to say you don't have to open the bottle that way. That's
So fancy.
How did this idea come up?
actually it's not. I mean, it's not my idea. It was it started out as a joke actually with my brother-in-law, and we were talking about the worst possible cocktails, and I said, "Oh, what about a Marmite cocktail?" And we were like, I wonder if somebody's done that. And indeed, there's more than one. And so we tried it once and we were like, that is far nicer than it has any right to be. And it kind of went from there. And it's become, hey, it's a talking point, if nothing else.
Legendary.
You'll never forget it, will you?
I got my husband to come in and watch you doing it.
Oh, did you?
He was just like, what? And then I had to rewind it because he wouldn't believe that you'd actually done it.
Well, there's
Dane about it. I was like, he said he was going to go and find it, but he couldn't. And he goes, what was it called again? It's like Googling Savrage, trying to find out what it is.
Bye, Jackie. Lovely to see you.
Bye, Jackie.
Bye.
Tom, can I throw a question in
Yes,
here,
of course.
please?
Yes.
I've just finished my 2022 strategy.
Yes.
And I've really fiddled myself over with the amount of video involved.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 lives a week in my group.
Yeah.
I've got to film video for my passive income course.
Yeah.
I've got the podcast, which I'd like to take some of this to use for. I've got my members area, which is again like yours is being retooled at the moment. And then I'll have a quarterly launch for the challenge once yearly. Am I better looking at the $5,000 package? Because along with that, I've also got, which we launched in September, this social media automation system. So I want to be able to not only use my lives, but to record loads of video in advance that's really consistent that I can put into this social media automation system. That's going to take me 12 months down the road. Now, that's not going to come in the star package, is it?
No, I mean, it's...
No matter how charming I am, that's quite a bag full of tricks I'm requesting for the star package.
Yeah, no,
so,
that sounds like quite a lot of content. So I think you would...
However, I am an ultimate beginner.
Yes.
So from what you were saying to me, I'm looking at then, what if I don't know what I want to use the star extra bit for, and I'm a little bit sort of panicky about being in the beginning? Would I get the beginner's course bit, do the beginner's course, and then come back to you afterwards for a separate thing with my bag of tricks?
Well, I mean, with the VIP stuff, that is kind of, part of the deal is that we are looking how it fits your needs. So there isn't necessarily a set way of doing things with that top tier. So like you say, we would be talking about it from the get-go, but sort of identifying the best way to attack it for you. So it's about, this isn't a one size fits all thing. That's the bespoke end of things. So this is about, you've got the core course and all the stuff there, but obviously that feeds into it, so your thinking may change. But because it's an ongoing process, that is something which
I think that's the thing that's making me nervous, because then I'm going to have 12 weeks to do this course, and then the VIP bit comes after, but I've only just finished the course. So what if I haven't managed to get all that stuff ready then from all of what I've just learned to go straight then at the end of the 12 weeks into the VIP?
Oh, you don't know. You don't need to go straight into it. I mean, it's not like kind of go. You're done now. Start.
Right.
Go. So that there's no.
So I can have a little gap.
Yeah,
Use
of course.
what I've learned first, and then come back to the rest.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
No, that's it. It is that is not I'm just going to shut down the live broadcast, because I think people are getting slightly confused by what's going on. So, so I'm going to sign off on the live. So bear with me a second, folks. So if you're watching live on Facebook, thank you so much for being here. If you've got any questions, come and join the Zoom call. The link is everywhere, or it should be. But if you've got any questions about Video Academy, do just message me, and I will do my very best to sort of get to you and get answering them as quick as I can. But I'm going to finish the Facebook call, but we are still going in Zoom. So if you want to come over, don't be confused. I will just put the link. Hello, Gail. I can see Gail waving. Hello. Bye-bye. Is that a bye-bye? Bye-bye.